One of the biggest mistakes I see with setting boundaries is not openly sharing and communicating them with our team and with people in our life. Sometimes we assume that people will know the boundaries we have set in place. But if we don't clearly communicate these boundaries and where we draw the line, what our non-negotiables are, people will never know that they've overstepped it. Hello and welcome to the Elevate podcast. I'm your host, Patricia Nowakowski. I'm a salon owner, educator, mindset, and leadership coach that helps salon owners go from overwhelmed and burnt out to motivated and empowered. It is my mission to help you systemize your business, generate more profit, and create a career that you love. Join us every week to learn about the small shifts you can make to elevate your business regarding mindset, marketing, social media, business systems, and so much more. Welcome to today's episode of the Elevate podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about setting boundaries. I feel like setting boundaries for leaders and for stylists is something that a lot of people struggle with because it really does invoke a lot of fear around all the things that can happen inside of our business. So boundary setting can definitely be something that is difficult to master, but once you start working through the fear, you're able to identify why you don't want to set a boundary or what's keeping you from setting a boundary. It really creates self-awareness and it really allows you to transform that area that is a struggle for you. So some of the fears that can really happen when we need to set a boundary and we are hesitant are one, fear of losing our team, which usually comes from a fear of losing revenue, fear of somebody not liking us or making somebody feel bad, and fear of creating change inside of our business that maybe might not be something that will be beneficial to us or our team. So we have to understand that strong leaders must set healthy boundaries when it comes to their team. And sure, our team needs us, but they also need a strategic leader that is going to be able to give their best every single day. And if we aren't setting boundaries to make that happen, then our leadership is going to struggle. So the task to actually set a boundary is a bit more challenging than you think. One of those in the leadership role is to really set up a boundary and the ability to provide guidance and a support system and being available so we don't stifle our team's growth potential. Another one of those boundaries is when we don't have boundaries in place, it really does inhibit us from being able to perform the things we need to perform inside of our business because our time is being executed in a non-strategic way. And essentially, we're wasting our time and energy on things that are not necessary. If boundaries were put in place, we could be more effective and efficient in our business. Every time we are interrupted or approached for every little question, and this is why I'm so adamant about having systems and resources in place for your team. Every single time somebody comes to us with a little question, it definitely can ruin our concentration and ruin our effectiveness in our business. So one of the boundaries that I definitely like to have in place is having set time for interactions and questions with my team. My team can book a coaching session or a chat session online through our online booking link. So if they do have something that they need to talk to me about, there is time carved out in my schedule so I can be more efficient and effective for those conversations so that when I am inside of the salon, I am focused on what I need to focus on to truly help my business grow. So having the availability, having the systems in place to have time set aside for difficult conversations so you can truly prepare your mind is going to help you be more efficient in your business. Our team definitely needs our assistance, and they will also be more successful when you are functioning at your best physically, mentally, and emotionally. And this is another reason why boundaries are so important. We need to know where we have to put boundaries in place to hone and focus and be intentional with our energy, and so that energy isn't taken away in an area that is not beneficial for our business. We also need to make sure that we are present and available. And when we have boundaries set in place, this is something that makes that possible. Setting boundaries gives you the freedom to be more intentional and strategic while growing a stronger team. One of the biggest mistakes I see with setting boundaries is not openly sharing and communicating them with our team and with people in our life. Sometimes we assume that people will know the boundaries we have set in place. But if we don't clearly communicate these boundaries and where we draw the line, what our non-negotiables are, people will never know that they've overstepped it. Did you ever wish there was a space to connect with other like-minded entrepreneurs outside of the industry? Last year, I joined Brand Builders Group, and it has truly transformed my business. Brand Builders Group is a personal brand strategy firm for influencers, thought leaders, and entrepreneurs. Their services are designed to help mission-driven messengers clarify positioning, expand reach, and increase revenues. I've gained so much clarity thanks to working with my brand strategist and attending Brand Builders Group events. If you are ready to create an impactful personal brand, check out Brand Builders Group. For more information, check out the link in the show notes. So we have to communicate what those boundaries are, especially in our business. And I think this is the one thing that can seem so daunting and scary, is that once we know what our boundaries are and having to communicate them, this is where sometimes the fear kicks in, right? We get afraid that we might hurt somebody's feelings. We get afraid that somebody might not like us anymore, or that somebody might quit. So I'm going to go over some verbiage you can use to communicate these boundaries so that you can start really making sure that there is a clear understanding of what you need from your team inside of your business. So with time, we have to make sure that if somebody needs our time and you have a system put in place, say a team member comes up to you and says, I really need to talk to you right now. There's something important. And we have our day booked out and planned with strategic intention, and we don't have time in that moment. One of the things that's so important is that we make sure that our team feels heard and that they feel appreciated and that they feel that what they have to say is important. So if you do not have time in that moment, then we respond with, wow, it sounds like what you have to say is really important, and I really value your input and what you have to share with me. At this time, I don't have the opportunity to have this conversation with you. We do have a system in place that if you do need to talk with me one-on-one, that you can use the link to set up an appointment. I would love for you to do that so I can really give you my full attention and that I can truly take in what you have to share with me. I can feel by the way that you are talking to me that conversation is going to be very important, and I want to make sure I'm fully present. So it's the way that we say things to our team. Now, it's so easy to dismiss somebody and say, I don't have time right now, or, be like, yeah, sure, come on in, let's chat, and then you're not fully present. One, that's going to be not beneficial for the strategy that you have in place and the intention you have in place for the day. But two, you're not going to be fully present to actually hear what that stylist is saying. So there are so many benefits for you and your team member when you do have these boundaries in place. This is also going to be important for your energy boundary. When we are really being strategic and intentional with our time, that means we're conserving our energy for the areas that need our energy. And making sure that we stick to our systems and our policies and our strategies is so important to really conserving that energy. Now, another thing that can happen sometimes is emotional dumping, which can be very, very heavy, and it can lead to an unprofessional relationship inside of our business. Some of the verbiage we can use for deflecting this and really setting our boundary in place is, I understand that you're having a hard time, and I really want to hear what you have to say, but at this time, this isn't the proper place or the moment to have this discussion. I would love to continue this discussion with you during an allotted time. So please make an appointment in my schedule. So another thing that we have to set boundaries with is we have to remember as salon owners, we've built our business because we want to run it the way that we want to. And a lot of times team members want to share their opinions. They want to share the changes that they want made. And sometimes some of those changes and those things don't align with our values, with our mission, with what we're doing inside of our business. So when somebody is forcing you to listen to the changes they want you to make, then some verbiage you can use is, your ideas sound amazing, and I understand that the things we do here inside of the salon are much differently than what you're looking for. I would love to sit down with you in the future and hear your ideas, but at this time, I'm not interested in making any changes in the business. If I do plan so in the future, I would love to involve you with the vision planning, and we can sit down and brainstorm some of the ideas that you have. I'll let you know when that time comes. And to finish off the podcast, I wanted to talk about setting boundaries as a workaholic. As salon owners, we can tend to fall into the routine of work, and we can burn ourselves out, and it is just not healthy. So some boundaries you can set in place to really work through this behavior of wanting to work all the time is 1, set precise work hours and follow them. I think 2, following a morning routine that is centered around self-care and that truly fills you up is going to recharge your energy. I would also recommend avoid checking your phone unless it is during an allotted time so you can really keep yourself focused when you're with your friends and family. I would tell your team when you are not available and if you're not available during certain times so they know that they should not contact you. And if they're going to contact you, that it should be done in a way that notifications are turned off and that you can really focus on what you're doing and really be present in your current moment. Another thing that you can do is delegate tasks or hire new employees to help reduce your stress levels. And last but not least, really trying to shift your mindset from work mode to home mode or to personal life mode, and really keeping all of the things that you have to do for later, because you're always going to have a running to-do list. That running to-do list as a salon owner is never going to go away, ever. So really having the mindset to be able to turn off your work brain to your personal life brain is so important to really make sure that you are finding fulfillment at home and at the salon. I hope today's podcast episode was beneficial for you. Are you somebody who struggles with boundaries? If you are, I would love to work with you one-on-one. You can set up a discovery call by visiting destroythehairdresser.com, and I would love to chat with you.